Hello, hello. Welcome to today's session of Selling the Couch. I hope you are doing well, having an incredible day. So, lately I've been noticing something, and I don't know if you have felt this as well. We're now living in a time where it has never been easier to get things done, especially with AI now permeating so much of our lives. Literally, AI can help us write stuff faster. Even, recording episodes like this where I script, a lot of times I'm talking things out in order to generate these scripts now. It can allow us to think faster, it allows us to create faster. And on paper, especially as business owners, that should give us more freedom, more time with family, more time for health, more time to actually enjoy the life that we have worked so hard to build. But what I've noticed both in my own life and in the conversations with a lot of our colleagues is that something is different. Instead of using that extra time that is now been freed up, we are now filling it. We take the efficiency and we convert it into more content, more projects, more things to optimize for. And somewhere along that process, we lose the very thing that we are trying to build in the very first place. If I'm being honest, I catch myself doing this a lot recently. I'll use AI to save time on something and then almost immediately think, okay, what else can get done now? Not what can I let go of? And that's a subtle shift, but it changes a lot of things. Here's a realization that I am coming back to. AI doesn't create freedom, it creates capacity. And if we're not intentional, we will use that capacity to work more. And I think this hits especially hard for those of us, again, who are building businesses because many of us didn't start this journey just to generate as much money as possible. We started it because maybe we were with a previous employer like community mental health or private practice, and we were just burning out. And many of us wanted just more flexibility. Many of us wanted to actually design a life that actually felt sustainable and then create the business around that. Hey, it's Melvin. I hope you're enjoying today's video. A lot of us go all in on private pay when it comes to private practice, which sounds great until the referrals slow down. And then suddenly your income feels unpredictable. And that stress, it builds slowly and quietly on top of the normal stress of clinical work. What I would do instead is simple. If I were building a private practice today, I would keep my private pay clients and add just one insurance panel, not five, not 10, just the highest paying one that's in my area. This gives you the stability without giving up the flexibility. And that is exactly where Alma can help. They make it easy to accept insurance, manage the back end, and keep your private practice running without adding a ton of extra work. After serving now our field for over a decade, I've learned that small, smart systems like this make a huge difference. And right now, if you're part of the Selling the Couch community, you can try Alma for free for 2 months at sellingthecouch.com/Alma. Sellingthecouch.com/Alma. That. But now there's this weird quiet pressure. If AI lets you create faster and launch faster and scale faster, then there's this voice that says, shouldn't I do more? And that voice, it's dangerous because the goal was never to do as much as possible. The goal was to build something that supports your life. And those are not the same thing. I just wanted to share three things that are keeping me grounded, but also helping me to wrestle with this tension that I feel as well. First, efficiency is not alignment. Efficiency is not alignment. Just because you can do more doesn't mean it's aligned with the life that you want. Second, empty space is not a problem. That 20-second gap, that slower afternoon, that quieter Saturday morning, that's not inefficiency. That's the point. What I've realized now, especially as AI again comes more and more into this space, how we guard that free time for deep thinking, for time with loved ones, for our own self care is perhaps more important than the actual stuff that we're using AI for. Third, if you don't define enough, it disappears. You see, AI removes friction, but friction is sometimes what tells us that is enough for today. Without that, there's always one more tweak, one more prompt, one more thing that we can do, whether it's in private practice or if you're building beyond the clinical room, there's always one more thing that you can do, one more project, one more platform to be on. So maybe the question isn't how can I use AI to do more? Maybe the question is what would it look like to use AI to protect what actually matters? So maybe the real opportunity here is not to build a faster business, but to build a business that finally gives us permission to slow down in a meaningful and purposeful way. And I'll leave you with this. I think, especially us as clinicians, that who understand the nature of stress and how these things can take over our lives, I think we're the best folks that can model this for others. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.